And that's loud. All right. So I'm mic'd up. All right, if you guys do have questions later on, I'm going to repeat the question back to you because they said it's recorded. So, just so you guys know, if you've never met me, my name is Marshall Zerner, Vice President of Freeman Motor Company. We are a dealership that has 3 locations, and we sell at our flagship location primarily European cars. But we sell everything and anything in between that. And we have 2 service facilities attached. One's separate from our flagship location, and the other one's attached right to it. We do about $200,000 at one of our stores in gross profit per month. We have about, one of our stores, about 11 bays, 6 technicians. Between all of it, I've got about 4 service writers. We do everything from mechanical repair, auto spa, to body shop. So, kind of everything in there. And today, we're going to talk about how to sell and operate in your service department. And you're going to see me walking around here because you guys so weirdly sat in the back and spread out. So, I'm not going to take responsibility for that. That's you guys being weird. So, I'll walk around because the stage is weird. Being up and then 1, 2, 3, 4 seats. Nobody wanted to sit in the front. All right. Just so I get a little feel of the room, how many of you guys have a service department? I take it that's why you're here. Okay, and how many of you guys do customer pay work? All right, and how many of you guys have more than 3 technicians? 5 technicians? 5? 10? Okay, all right, good. How many of you guys in here have a parts room? A parts department? 2, okay. And we all have, how many of you guys have service advisors separate and apart from you? And how many of you guys play service advisor? Awesome. Great. It's good. Okay, so what we're going to talk about is just kind of the selling process that I think everybody should have in a dealership. They should have some sort of process. If you don't have a process, people are going to do it their own way. I think we can all agree to that, and we see that done all the time. We all have a sales process, right, for our sales guys. 8-step, 7-step, 12-step, whatever it is. You know, the meet and greet, the test drive, the close, delivery. But do we have one for our service advisors? I would venture that a lot of us don't. And if you don't tell them how to do it, they're going to do it their own way. So this is just what we have, and you can add to. Please don't take away. I think that's a bad idea. Greeting, walk around, write up, dispatch and inspect, kind of the same thing. Advise, update, and then an active delivery. I'm going to talk about the importance of all of these, but I'm going to really just focus a lot on the walk around, write up, and advise, because I think that's really where the selling comes in. So, step number 1, the greeting. This is a very important thing when you're a salesperson, right? How many of you guys have a greeting for your sales department? Some of you guys have some homework in your sales department. If we don't do the greeting right, we might set people off on the wrong tone. But one thing that's different in service, if you guys have ever worked as a service advisor, please don't be weirded out by me walking around the room. Remember, you did this, okay? Is that when people are buying a car, they're really excited, right? They get a brand new car or a brand new pre-owned car, so they generally come in really happy. But when they're coming in for service, they're less than happy. They're usually really ticked. They're grumpy. They're mad because their car broke down. Maybe they have kids with them. Maybe they're missing an appointment. Maybe you sold them the car that broke down. That's the worst. I'm going to try the stage thing. So when they come in, they're less than happy. Now, there might be some other things that affected them too. Maybe they had a hard time finding your location. Maybe they couldn't find a parking spot when they came in. So if we don't greet them properly when they come in and they're already upset, we could start this off on the totally wrong foot, right? And we all know the greetings are universal, and no matter where you go and what industry you're in, a greeting starts with what? Anybody know? Welcome. That's close and good, but you got to have what on your face? You got to have a smile. Anything you do, I don't care if it's on the phone or in person, you smile. Smile goes a long way. You make some eye contact. You let them know that I recognize you being here. Right? You guys have you guys gone to the Starbucks here? Somebody was just complaining about them not even looking up from their register. Right? Okay. That was a no tip. Sound confident and professional. Use language that demonstrates your enthusiasm. Okay? A welcome can either really set a positive tone or a negative tone, depending on how we do it. And it's really hard to sound positive and enthusiastic when you're not smiling. Okay? Now, you might think this is a joke, but there are some people, broken people, some people even at our dealership that don't know how to smile. And we have to practice it with them. Hey man, smile. Some of them we just have to move departments. Make sure your tone and inflection is positive. The greeting, super, uber important. Okay, I don't need to spend a lot of time on that, other than if you don't create it, they're going to create it for you. So if you don't know what the greeting is, I'll go over one that we use at our place here in just a minute. Step number 2 would be the walk around. How many of you guys at your dealership make your service advisors walk around the car? Good. If you're not doing it, implement it immediately. And here's why. Eliminate liability on the dealership. Have you ever had somebody pick up their car and let you know that that scratch wasn't there before? And it only wasn't there before because there was dirt covering up because they haven't washed their car since they bought it from you a year and a half ago. Now they're complaining because it's broken and they bought it from you and they blame it on you. It was like that when I bought it, right? The check engine light's been on since I bought it, I just haven't had time to call you. Yep. Anybody have that? Spot any repair or maintenance needs, and most importantly, build rapport. Guys, what do we do? Why is service advising any different than sales? What do we do in the steps of the sale? We greet, we investigate, and we build some rapport, right? We have to do this in service just as much as we do in sales, but the argument is, but Marshall, we don't have time, right? It's okay, I'll teach you something. Because F&I doesn't say they don't have time, right? They have to greet, build rapport really quickly, investigate what they need to sell really, really quickly, right? That's what service advisors need to do. So here's 3 simple questions. These are the ones that are mandatory asked when we do our walk around. If you guys, at the end, I can email you this slideshow if you guys really want. I don't mind taking pictures, but I'm just letting you know too. I'm happy to email it. Because I didn't hand it out like a noob. All right. How many of you guys service a lot of your own customers' cars? How many of you have ever had a service advisor sell them a ton of work 2 days after they bought the car, or a week after? They bring it in for a check engine light, and they're like, oh yeah, write it up, check engine light, it's a $115 diagnosis, go ahead and sign here. And by the way, you also need a brake flush, and your brakes are getting down there, and we noticed an oil leak. So, and then they're like, well, can you go ahead and call your sales manager, because I just bought it, right? Why do we welcome those objections? Because we didn't train our staff properly, right? If we don't train them on the greeting and how to walk around and build rapport, then we're going to deal with a lot of heat. And if you guys are okay dealing with heat, then continue to do it the wrong way and don't have a process. So 1, how long have you owned this car? It looks a little something like this. Hey Luke, how long you had this car, man? I'm walking out to the car, by the way. We're just walking out and I have my write-up slip, okay? Hey Luke, how long you had this car? 3 weeks. Oh, 3 weeks, great. Where did you buy the vehicle? Oh, Frame and Motor Company, that's awesome. What extended service contract did you buy? Okay, but try it, say that you didn't buy one, just so we all have an example of this one. What service contract did you buy? Oh, okay. All right. No problem. Right, because, I mean, in the F&I department, they're presented an opportunity to protect their vehicle, right? And, I mean, I don't know how many you have in your state, but we have about 5 as-is forms that they have to sign in our state. Then they have to sign a disclosure that I was offered a warranty and I declined it. And if I'm working F&I, which sometimes I do, I let them know the car is going to break. So, do not call me. Just call and be mad at yourself that you didn't buy the service contract. So when they come into service, I'm going to really lay that on them. What service contract? Oh. You didn't, Luke? Okay. It's no problem. See what we can do. Yeah, after you pay to fix it. So how long have you owned this vehicle? Where did you buy it? Go ahead and give me a different place. I mean, where did you buy the car? You bought it. You just bought it 2 days ago. All of a sudden, I'm going, crap! You bought it 2 days ago. Okay, I got to handle this right. Where did you buy it from? Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and we do a complimentary inspection when we do your oil change, Luke. So we're going to go ahead and get that done for you, right? Now, I'm not trying to be mean to the competition down the street. I'm just saying this dictates which direction you're going, right? This can quickly help you be more efficient in your service department. It eliminates heat and directs your customer right where you want to go, and it builds rapport very quickly, right? I mean, I'm just building rapport and I'm investigating. Where'd you buy the car? How long have you had it? Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I love these vehicles. They're so cool. I mean, I can go I can go anywhere I want with that, right? But those 3 questions are, and do not change it, okay? If you're going to implement this, please don't change my words. These are right, okay? What service contract did you buy is intentional. If I say, did you buy a service contract? It's like implied that you had a choice. Did you buy one? It's like, no, I didn't. Oh, okay. No, it's what service contract did you buy? It's implied that you should have bought one, right? Now, if you guys don't sell service contracts, that's a different class. All right. Greeting to the walk around. So our greeting looks a little bit like this. We like to really be efficient and walk our customers through things and as quickly as possible. So if I just go, welcome to Freeman Motor Company, what brought you in today? It doesn't direct them as quickly as possible because we have mechanical repair, we have an auto spa, and we have paint work. So really quickly, I like to direct them. We might say, are you here for service or are you here for a detail today? I use a lot of or questions to help direct the conversation. So welcome could look like this. Welcome to Freeman Motor Company. Steve, did you have an appointment today or are you just dropping by? Just dropping by. That's awesome. Let me see if I can fit you in. Now, that's really important because we're busy. We have a schedule, and I definitely want my drop-ins, but I do need to know if they're a drop-in or if they have an appointment, right? And you ever go to a restaurant where they're like, did you have a reservation? And you're looking, you're like, they're all the empty table. Do I need one? Like, no, I just checking, right? It's the same kind of concept. It makes you think, oh, okay, in the future, you do need an appointment if you want to get service right away. Otherwise, I might not be able to get you in. And if they do have appointments, hopefully you guys are greeting these people by name, because what do people have 100% of the time? Yeah, thank you. Somebody's paying attention. They have a name 100% of the time. So if they booked an appointment, you have all their information, and so when they come, say Jeffrey. Yep. I can say, hey Jeffrey, looks like we're working on your Chevy Cobalt. That's not what I assume you drive, I'm just using one. Okay, close? All right. Then you say, let's get some information off the car. Follow me. Okay? Very important. Follow me. Now, I've walked this through with my advisors. We do training every single week with my advisors. We role play a lot of different things. It's amazing how quickly they forget this stuff. And they're like, but I can't do walk-arounds 100% of the time. I'm only asking for like 95% of the time. Because we came to the conclusion that there are very, very few times you can't do a walk-around. Guys, I live in Oregon. It rains. Okay? It rains a lot. That would be the biggest excuse. What if it's raining? Well, get used to it, because that's every day where I'm from. So we walk the customer around in the rain, get an umbrella. There's something around that. We went through pretty much everything, and there's not a reason why we can't walk around with the customer. There are very few times when they have like a little baby, okay, that they're like, I don't want to get the baby out in the rain, the extreme temperatures. That's fine. Do a walk around, then come back in and let them know what you found. You go to the vehicle, you have to obtain the miles, right? Because we want to make sure the miles are accurate, not what they just told us on the phone. Liability, remember, cover ourselves from later. Why do you think we turn the vehicle on? The answer's up there. Anybody? For the miles, yes. What else would be another reason I turn on the vehicle? You just came in for an oil change, and I'm just going to do a walk around your vehicle. You're like, do I really need to walk around my vehicle? Yeah, we'll make it really quick. I just want to make sure I get the accurate information. I'm going to go ahead and get the miles off, turn it on, and what might pop on that car? Check engine light. I even have a picture of it. Yep. How many people are driving around with warning lights that they just totally forgot about? 40%. You're driving one right now. Doesn't hurt. It's been like that since I bought it. Yeah. I just never said anything. Yep. So, brake lights, oil lights, check the little left-hand sticker for the oil change. I mean, there are people my wife never looks at that sticker. I get in her car, she's got 3 warning lights on and an oil change. I'm like, what are you doing? Right? She's an advisor's dream. All right. Turn the wheel to lock left. What does that mean? I get in it, I turn it on. It's easier to turn it. I turn it all the way to the left. Why do I want to do that? Does anybody know? Check tires. Yes. So when I'm doing the walk around, I can see the tires because if I look at the outside, and if you recon your own cars, you would know this, right? If you look on the outside, they look great, but on the inside, they could be bald, right? Because they always like to let us know when they're bald. You're like, I bought it. They look fine. And they're like, no, on the inside, Marshall. On the inside, you need to replace them, right? So, wheel lock left. All right. Recap. Welcome to Freeman Motor Company. Did you have an appointment or are you just dropping by? Oh, I have an appointment for an oil change. Let's just pretend, okay? So let's go ahead and get some information on the car. Go ahead and follow me. All right, turn it on. And then, so today, looks like we're going to be doing an oil change. It's about 2 o'clock right now, Luke. I'm going to go ahead. You know, our oil change is about an hour, but we also like to wash a car. Are you waiting or is somebody picking you up? Ooh, that's the worst, right? Okay, you're waiting. Okay, well, just so you know, it takes about an hour. to do an oil change, plus we like to wash the car. It's an hour and 15 minutes if you don't mind waiting, or I can get you a ride to Starbucks down the street. Anything else you noticed on your vehicle? This is a question that should be asked every single time. 50% of the time they will bring up something. Okay, you start the car to find warning lights, you're covering yourself, but you're also wanting to, find an opportunity, right? Anything else you noticed on your car while driving? Any noises or abnormalities? I can ask this in this room right now and you might have something. Yeah, Luke? Oh, no, we're not asking this. This is the path I go down. If they bought it from Freeman Motor Company and it's been 2 years or a year, I'm going down this path. If they bought it a week ago, no, I'm not going down this path. I don't think there's a magic number. You really would have to gauge that with your customers. Like we sell high-end European cars, they really like to service their cars on some of them. Some of them really hate it. In our other store, they're dealing with Volkswagens and they hate to service. So I would go a minimum of 3 months probably. That's what we don't do oil changes in all of our cars. But we do put a 3-month out sticker. We check to see if the oil change has been done. We try to do 3 months out. So to get them back into our service part. That's a great question. All right. Any noises, any driving concerns that you notice while driving down the road? Oh yeah, actually it makes this weird little when I start it up in the morning. Or, it pulls a little bit to the left. Great, we'd be happy to check that out, right? Anything that can build me more time. Any of you guys attended the service class this morning when they talked about all we're selling is time? Okay? That's what you're selling in the service department. If I only have an hour with Luke's oil change, I better find some more time. And how do I find more time? My walk around. So, I cannot get more time unless I do a walk around, and it's a lot harder to do it without a customer there. Right? They're looking at the tires. They're seeing their warning light. You're able to ask them, what's this warning light all about? How long have you had it? And especially if they're in there for a diagnosis, right? I'm going to have to go ask some questions. All right. You need a write-up. You need all the information. Get a signature on the diag. I know a lot of places don't do this. Remember, cover yourself. Get a signature on the diag. Okay? Diag costs money. And they need to make sure they're committing to that. Make recommendations based on mileage. Please protect your technicians this way. Okay? What does that mean? When a customer comes in, and this is how I am going to sell more time when I'm writing them up. All right, Luke, looks like you have about 30,000 miles. I know we're only doing an oil change, but about 30,000 miles is when you need your brake flush and coolant flush, and you need your cabin filter replaced. That's about when we recommend those. What happens when this comes back later? It's at the end. I'm checking Luke out. By the way, this is what our technician found. Your brake fluid is dirty. And they're like, I just replaced it. What? When? 6 months ago? 3 months ago? Doesn't matter. Brake fluid's always dirty. I don't know if you guys ever looked at brake fluid. It's always dirty. Okay? Windshield wipers. When are you supposed to replace those? Anybody know? Once a year? Nope. I think the recommendation is 6 months, maybe on the packaging. They might put like a warranty on it. But 6 months, I think, is what all data says. But unless you're dealing with extreme temperature changes or abnormalities, then it's 3 months. In Oregon, it gets hot to 90 degrees, then it rains, and then it can get really cold all in the same day. And you know what that does to rubber? Messes with it, right? So, as soon as you have climate changes, don't recommend something it doesn't need. I'm an advocate of recommending things that are needed, but in the customer's mindset, and even in this room, they're going, I just did that. And you're going, I made a recommendation to you, and now I could be looking bad if I'm not educated enough, right? So now they're going, I just did that. What's a just did mean in your world? So I just did brake flush. Base it on mileage. Make your brake flushes, any of your flushes, or your filters on mileage. All right, then quarter time. What is quarter time? This is why we have to sell time. What is quarter time? Recommending work to the customer in a quarter of the promised time delivered. Why is it important? It maximizes sales opportunities, increases customer satisfaction. There's a 70% chance of closing somebody on 1/4 of the time. What does that mean? Customer arrives at 10 o'clock for their appointment. Vehicle is promised back by noon. A little bit of math goes into here. In order to be in compliance with quarter time, I would need to have customer information to them by 10:30. It looks like this. When I check in a customer, and if you only have an oil change, and I have an hour, that means I have to get that RO back to my technician pretty quickly so that he can start making recommendations when he's looking underneath there in 15 minutes. Because if I come out to you and I say, hey, Jeffrey, you know, I also noticed, because if I didn't do this on the walk around, my technician noticed while he was in there, he found a little bit of oil dripping. You may or may not have known about that. He would love to have some extra time to do that. But they did also notice that you're due for a coolant flush and a brake flush. And actually, we can get that done. Wouldn't keep you much longer. I could probably have the car out of here instead of an hour, maybe an hour and a half, if that would be okay with you. I mean, that's, and then they're more likely, 70% more likely to say yes, because his time's already allotted to be at the service department. Now, if I wait till the end, and I'm checking you out, you're like, no, I'm trying to get out of here. I'm done. I may or may not do that later. Right? Does that make sense to everybody? Does quarter time make sense? 70% chance, only if you want a 70% chance of selling it. All right. Dispatch, inspect. If we know what quarter time is, everybody's got to be on the same page. That means that my technicians have to be on the same page. My parts people need to be on the same page. They have to be all in the loop so I can get recommendations back in quarter time. And then, when we have it, we advise. Again, at the beginning, we do our greeting properly. We walk around. We're trying to get some more time. Okay, we're making recommendations based off of mileage. And then we have an inspection go, or maybe they brought it in for a diagnosis. Then I've got to advise the work. We use the RIM process. Does anybody know what the RIM process is? Great. Maybe because I made it up. I don't know. All right, RIM. It's related, immediate, and maintenance. Oh, that's great. Related, immediate, maintenance. Remember, only sell people what they need. All right. Guys, I'm going to explain what RIM is here in a second. I know just telling you what related, immediate, and maintenance isn't good enough. Did you guys know that 60% of recommendations never even get told to the customer? What's the rule in F&I? If you guys have F&I, the 300% rule, 100% of the product, 100% of the time, do 100% of the people. Right? Same thing for service. But we get really scared to make the recommendations. Right? Well, I just sold my valve cover gasket and it was like $1,200. I don't think they're biting off on a $200 filter, right? Yeah, you get really scared. And for some reason, you start pre-qualifying that customer instead of giving them the opportunity. So how do you do that, Marshall? Well, it's very simple. It looks like this. You brought your car in for a check engine light, okay? Check engine light, you see how all those things are in parentheses? It means I'm not going to say them. Those are the prices. So, looks like, Jeffrey, you brought your car in for the check engine light. What we found it to be was the O2 sensor. But while we were in there, we also found that your brakes are at 2 millimeters, and that's really below spec. You definitely need to get those done. And we also noticed an oil leak coming. That's your oil pan that's leaking, and you definitely want to take care of that before that leaks onto other stuff and causes more damage. And we also do recommend a brake flush and a coolant flush at this time. We can have all this done by Thursday for only $1,342. Do you have a car, or will you be needing a rental? Rental. Now, you guys are like, whoa, Marshall, rental. Okay, well, I'm not covering a rental. Right? Is that what you're thinking? What service contract did you buy? Did it cover rental? Now, wouldn't I much rather be talking about, am I covering a $30 a day rental, or am I arguing about the $1,342 bill? If you're like, yeah, I'll take the rental. I just got $1,342 without I didn't pre-qualify you. All I did was ask a question. All you had to make was a minor commitment on a major decision, which was, do you have a ride or do you need a rental? And your qualm is, yeah, but I'm not paying for that rental. Fine. Looks like we can get all this wrapped up by Thursday for $1,372. Do you have a ride or will you be needing a rental?
So the rental is free?
Well, it is now because I just got it, $1,372.
From you?
I can do one day for you. You can do that. Hey, that's a different training exercise, but do you understand the concept of what I'm trying to tell you? That you're arguing over a $30 a day rental, okay, versus a $1,342 bill. And I'm recommending everything. Now, what you can say is, we partner with Enterprise and we get a discounted rate. We partner with whoever, I don't care who it is, and we get a discounted rate, and I'd love to extend that to you. Now I'm having a conversation about a rental, not $1,342, right? If I know the customer, they're not going to do this unless if they have a rental. Fine. It's $1,372. Now, does this work 100% of the time? No. They're going to go, oh, whoa, that's too much money. Oh, okay, yeah, it's no problem. Hey, like I said, this is just stuff we noticed while we were in there. But you know what I can do? I broke it down to related immediate maintenance. You know, if you want, we can save some of these maintenance items till the next visit, and I can go ahead and put you on the calendar for that. So but like I said, those brakes definitely do need to get done, and the oil is leaking, and before it leaks onto some other stuff. Then I'm going to get into I like to go in at like one brush stroke, kind of quick and easy, $1,342, right? I go over it pretty quickly. Then when you start questioning, I'm going to tell you a little bit more reasons as to why you need to do this, but I'm going to take something off, and I start with the maintenance. Now, if you're like, well, that's still too much. Fine. Here's what you can probably get away with. That I don't know how long or how much damage it's going to cause with that oil leaking onto other stuff, but we can take that off too. But I really don't want you driving with unsafe brakes, and I really think you should get that done. We can get all that done for, what's that, $592, and we can have that done by Thursday. Do you have a ride, or will you be needing a rental? In sales, we teach them how to close, right? Do we teach our advisors how to close? Do we teach our advisors how to present? Nope. And then my advisors love to do that. What if they want the free rental? So I was already ready for it. Does that make sense to you guys? Minor commitment on a major decision? Minor commitment on a major decision. You made a minor commitment to a rental car, to a ride on a $1,340 decision. Right?
How long do you want it to work? I don't know, doing breaks or stuff like that, and then the customer leaves and the next day, something happens.
To the brakes?
Yeah.
Ours is 1 year.
Okay.
We warranty our stuff. That's up to, I know one of our friends in Virginia does 3 years, but that's crazy. We do 1 year. I think that's pretty standard for people to do a year. Yeah? All right. Most importantly, update your customer. Okay? Advisors love to update their customers. It's so easy in this world. That was facetious for you guys who didn't catch that. Okay? Yep, I know. Nobody really did. They're falling asleep back there. 10, 1, and 3 is pretty simple. I set an alarm on my phone back when I was acting service manager. But I set an alarm on my phone every 10, 1, and 3. And I'd walk in, and I'd be like, hey, it's 10 o'clock. What are you doing? What are you doing at 10 o'clock? You're updating your customers. What are you doing at 1 o'clock? Updating your customers. What are you doing at 3 o'clock? Updating your customers. What do you think a 10 a.m. update would be? Because your advisors are going to give you pushback on this, right? They're going to be like, Marshall, I got the car at 9. What am I going to update them at 10? Right? You know what? Car hasn't got in the shop yet. It's been really busy. Actually, a few things came in today, so it hasn't quite made it in there yet, right? Or my technician's just starting to look at it. Hey, it's in the shop right now, getting checked out. Just wanted to keep you in the loop, right? These text message world is so easy. What are we doing at 1 o'clock? Yeah, an update. This is, by the way, this is after the car is in there for repair. I've already sold them work, okay? Don't get confused with the phone calls to sell the work. I'm updating them on where their car's at. What do you think a 3 o'clock phone update might look like? Yeah. I mean, do people need to know? They might even need to know that at 1 o'clock. Do they need to make alternate transportation? I dropped it off, and the car's not going to be ready tonight. And they think they're going to, we all have plans, right? If you didn't have your car for one extra day that you're planning on having your car, it's pretty important. Remember, we said at the beginning, if we don't set the tone, customers are a little bit upset when they come in because their car's already broken down. Okay? So if we don't set the right tone, we might be dealing with difficult customers. If we don't update them, it gets even more difficult when we're trying to collect the money. Okay. And then finally, active delivery. This is a very important part of the step. Much like the walk around, our advisors love to do it. Set the next service appointment if you can, just like a dental office. That would make sense. Walk the customer to their vehicle. It's completed and it's over there. Right? That's the worst. Why do I want to walk them to the vehicle, do you think? Just give me one good thing that might come. Yes? Yeah. Have they ever left parts in the car? Have you ever run into that? Oh man, that's embarrassing. Parts or tools. I mean, what's that? Pizza box, Mountain Dew cans, the radio's on full blast. Yeah. We wash our cars. And we have a tag in there. So you have to walk out, you got to take the tag out, and we could notice, oh no, the car didn't get washed. And did you know that 90% of people who have a bad experience don't even tell you? They just leave and don't come back. They just leave. I need to know that right there and there that we messed up. If I point to them and say the car's over there and I have no idea that they got upset because the car wasn't washed or the technician got some grease stains in there, right? Or we left some tools in there or some extra parts and they're like, what are these, right? I may never see that customer again. Retention's huge. This is the number one retention tool right here. Shake their hand, ask them for a review. All right. Man, that was like right on time. Okay, guys. In summary, you need a process. If you don't have one, they're doing it their own way. Okay? Processes are only good if they're written down. Otherwise, that's not a process. You guys are really good at your job. Remember, take what's in your head and put it on paper. Refine it, and then make sure everybody's on the same page. If you have multiple advisors, they probably do things different. They probably do things different than you, than the other advisor, than the other person coming in the next day. Make sure your managers are on board with this, and then you're reinforcing it. And the steps are greeting. It's super simple. All I have to do is I just have to welcome you to the dealership, and it's got to be the same, whatever it is. It's just not, hey, welcome to Freeman Motor Company, or hey, how can I help you today, or what's up, right? Those are all different. Okay, we need them the same. Uniformity. Starts with a smile. And you got to be happy. Okay, remember, they're not happy. Then we do a walk around, okay? And we ask those rapport building questions that also are investigative. And we sell time. And don't forget to get everybody on the same page. It helps when the technicians and the parts are on the same page as the advisors, right? All right? And don't forget to update your customer and do your active delivery. Questions? Luke.
So you're selling to high-end European buyers, and you deal with a $1,300 repair.
Nope.
Maintenance isn't the world. How about my customer who has gone on those boards that they're more fixed income?
Okay.
How do we go about? Because when you're talking about getting somebody who's under there, I don't even know how I don't even know about it. So yeah, so
Right. Don't even let them have the opportunity to fix their car. Right. That's better. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. So what Luke's wondering is, should I let somebody know that they have the ability to fix their car or not? No. The prices I have up there were reflective of European prices, so I assume, a brake job on your car is a little bit less than the brake job on our car, right? So one, maybe take that $1,300 bill and bring it down to $800 or $700. It doesn't really matter. We don't only service high-end European, we also service other stuff as well. And we have to present every opportunity to everybody. You never know how they're going to pay for it. I don't know. You may not be able to afford it, and you're going, I finance this person. I know they can't, right? I don't know if their mom, brother, sister is going to help them. They have a friend who just said, hey, go take your car and get it fixed. It's on me. Their church. I'm not going to make that judgment. Why would you? To 100% of the customers. 300% rule. Yes? Yes, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so the question was, do we pay flat rate or hourly? We pay flat rate, for sure. And then the other question was, what software do we use? So we run, our DMS system is DealerTrack, and we run all our repair orders through there. But there are some great service tools to track your shop time and all that stuff, and dispatching and all that. We use Xtime, ASR. It's a component of Cox. Same thing. It integrates with DealerTrack. It's called Xtime. It's got 4 components to it. You don't have to have all of them. One of them is a service scheduler that does it online, and one portion is it monitors each department it's in. It's an inspection. It's in waiting on approval. It's waiting on repair. It kind of gives you that. And then it also does a marketing campaign. Oh, we use all data for flag time. Yeah. And I mean, that could be relevant to the type of cars that you work on, whether you use Mitchell or all data. Yeah. And then there's... Yeah, no, I get it. It's super hard to cut expenses. You could just make more money. The other thing that I think is really hard You get one of these systems and you expect it to do everything for you. And in these automated dispatch systems, I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with an automated dispatch system. It takes your own brain power to make sure it understands what you need it to do, because there's a thing called carryover that everybody says they've had it figured out, but I haven't seen a system do that properly yet. So you have to make sure you put some brain power into these systems. Automated dispatch. It's like where instead of you bringing the RO to the technician and you deciding what technician it goes to, it'll like funnel it based on their work. Yeah, oh, it's intriguing, but like I said, it's not. Yes, right. So they'll go, oh, that's an A-level technician, you can do this. This is a B-level technician, they can handle that. Like I said, those things aren't very good. So stop asking about it. Yes? No, that's great. No, we don't. No, it's hard when you deal with a lot of different makes and models. We have a different labor rate for different makes and models. The question was, do we have a menu behind our counter? I like menus. I think they're great, but I do not have them. Did you not see my process? It was the RIM process. Yeah, we don't use a menu. That's a great point. She says she offers her customers payments. We do too. So here's the thing. What's the reason that people don't buy a car usually? It's usually price. It usually comes down to price. Like they'll leave because of price, right? Somebody's got a better deal. What's it in service? There's two things that it can be. It's price or it's time. I don't have time right now. I can't be down without my car for a couple days. All these things are in their head and you guys go, I do this every day, so I just assume they know how it works, right? So I gotta offer an alternative. Do you have a ride or do you need a rental car? Okay? Boom. I don't have to worry about a time now. She's like, okay, now I'm not down. Right? But then she's going, wow, it's $1,342. She's going, I don't have to think about it. Okay, what are you going to think about? Is it the price or is it just you being down without your car? Right? And then once I find out it's price, well, let me reprioritize some of these things. You know, we do offer financing, but I got to find that out and I got to be not afraid to ask that question. Right? Yes? Nope. He said, is it bad to inflate? I don't ever think it's a bad idea to inflate, to cover yourself if you need to when quoting, but I do not believe in inflating it and keeping it when it comes down to charging the customer at the end. So if I'm quoting you $1,372 and at the end, I didn't break an extra bolt that I was anticipating, right? Then you get the bill and it's a little bit lower, you're a little bit happier, right? So I'm always in favor of inflating it just a little bit because there's always an error we miss, right? Some took extra time because there were rusted bolts on there or a belt broke that we weren't anticipating. I got to end, probably last question. Same thing goes for time? How do you mean? Or add time? Yes, always add time. Yeah, you kind of have to because you don't want people adding things up in their head. You're like, okay, a brake flush is an hour, and a coolant flush is an hour, and what's another flush? Like a power steering flush, but we can get that all done in an hour, but each of them I'm charging an hour. Like, yeah, you want to be careful with that. And then always giving yourself more time. If I'm dealing with quarter time, and you say I have an hour for my oil change, I'm going to say, hey, you know what, our oil changes, we do a really good job, we do an inspection with them, and we wash your car at the end, it takes about an hour and a half, hope you're okay waiting. Right? My quarter time I just extended by 30 minutes. All right, thank you guys. I got to end, so thank you.